Was that you, Skip?
You were dreaming all right.
Was that you?
My turn! You told me it was my turn!
Just keep it a buck. If they're fine enough, if they're funny enough, or if their financial status is what you want. I'm funny. You're throwing all boundaries, standards.
Just use what you got to get what you want and stop messing with this chump change.
It's just, and that peanut butter skin with that big rat.
Is this Hooters?
No, sir.
Is it Hooters? I know it's a Hooters, because if it is, you owe me some fucking buffalo wings.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. It's your boy, Triple B, and this is the Broken Bitter Black Man Podcast. Here where we lay it all on the table and recognize that everybody is broken and bitter. And everybody's broken up into two categories. Those who know that they broken and bitter and have already started their healing journey, and those who just walking around thinking that this is all normal. And yes, today we've got everything but normal. And here at the Broken Bitter Black Man, we take a look at the reactions to the reactions. And today's story, we didn't have to wait long at all for these reactions, because the moment this story hit the web, it took off. Now let's head to Anton Daniels and the Millionaire Morning Show for an update.
Joy Taylor, a lot of you may not know, is a woman that started a podcast called Too Personal. But before she did that, she was working with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp on Undisputed. She was the referee, so to speak. She wound up transitioning and participating with Colin Cowherd, another sports analyst. And a lot of ladies may not be so familiar with her sports takes, and that's because it's trash. But guys have been calling out this trash culture. And the reason that I say that it's trash is because we spend so much time on diversity, equity, and inclusion that we think that women that are unqualified are supposed to be in men's spaces, and men hate it. They absolutely despise it, right? Men don't like the fact that we're so busy looking at women jumping into men's spaces, such as sports, when they're unqualified. Now, if you qualified and you know what you're talking about and you're great at entertainment, then cool. Make your bones and compete with the guys and be able to have that conversation. But ever since we started getting the Joy Taylors and Molly Kiram and you know them all. We're not going to name them all because this is not about them. We've always, as men, been questioning and saying, how did they end up in these spaces in the first place? What made her more qualified than this person, and what made this person more qualified than that person? Why is Joy Taylor, who, might I add, is a very nice looking woman and is great on the eyes, what made her get that position instead of that booger wolf over there?
Anton, you just said it. She's nice on the eyes. And she got a broadcast journalism degree from some school that ain't nobody ever even heard of. And her brother played professional football. So she's watched the game, I'm sure, and she's paid attention to sports. But for the most part, she's there because she's a beautiful face.
Well, let's try to figure it out, okay? So this is a lawsuit that was filed on the 3rd of January, 2025. So literally 3 days ago, on Friday, when we were ending the Millionaire Morning Show, this lawsuit was being filed in the county of Los Angeles, Superior Court of the state of California. And it names Fox Sports Corporation or Fox Corporation, Fox Sports Holdings, Fox Sports 1, Fox Sports 2, Fox Sports Production, Charlie Dixon, who was an executive vice president over at Fox Sports. He was the one that was controlling and telling everybody what to do. It also named Skip Bayless. We'll get to him later. And I couldn't believe my eyes when I seen this name. I said, what? Who, what, when, where, why, and how? Joy Taylor? How did Joy Taylor become a defendant? I mean, when this thing hit my desk, I was thinking, oh, Skip Bayless is done. Never in a million years did I think that women would become the punching bags of 2025, but it's your year. It's your year. Last year, y'all went at Diddy. Jay, I want to see the same energy for Joy Taylor. But let's look at the allegations. And we're going to deep dive. So we're going to skip down a little bit because I've had an opportunity to be able to find the good parts. So it's a woman that was a hairstylist that came in, and I'll just give you the cliff notes really quickly. A woman that was a hairstylist, and she came in, and she basically was working on Fox Sports, and it was this big show that was coming, and it was named Undisputed, and Skip Bayless had the autonomy to be able to pick who he wanted to and run the show how he wanted to. There was another guy, and his name was Charlie Dixon. Charlie Dixon was an executive vice president over at Fox Sports, and he is one of the people that is being named, along with the Fox conglomerate and Skip Bayless and Charlie Dixon. And in this whole thing, defendant Joy Taylor, who was a media personality and television host for Fox, and she co-hosts Speak. So she was just the person that lobbed the questions over to Skip and Shannon when Shannon was over there before he left. And she was a co-host. She wound up parlaying her way through her hard work over on Speak on FS1, according to this. But let's deep dive. It said, at all relevant times, Miss Taylor was an agent of Fox and had the authority to make decisions impacting Miss Faraji, we're just going to say Miss F, because we see students over here, employment. Upon information and belief, Miss Taylor is a resident of the state of California. Goes on to say, we're going to skip down a little bit. All right. So she was hired to work at Fox, all of that stuff, right? Cool. Awesome. Sounds good. Let's skip down. Where is it at? Her style and hair. All right. So this is the good part. This is where we started to get into it. Approximately March 2016, Miss F met Miss Taylor. Innocent enough, right? Two misses. Getting to the kisses. An aspiring sports personality that had recently moved from Miami to Los Angeles. So Joy was in Miami. That makes sense. She looked like a Miami girl. Sun-kissed. I'm with it. Moved to Los Angeles for the opportunity of airtime at Fox. At the time, Miss Taylor did not have a regular position, but would fill in on a day-to-day basis when talent was sick and otherwise missed time. So basically, she was a substitute teacher. Okay? So this is what the lawsuit is saying. This is what the lawsuit is saying, that she was a substitute teacher. She would fill in when people were sick, trying to get her an opportunity, trying to figure it out. Okay? Miss Taylor told Miss F that she had recently wed, but her husband remained in Miami. First red flag, fellas. Okay, this is gonna be a highlight. Never let your chick be out here in these streets, in these Los Angeles and Miami streets by themselves, saying that I trust her.
Big red flag. I mean, one, why did you let your wife go? And two, why did you get married and then let your wife go? Like, that didn't make no sense to me unless you felt like you already knew what she was and what she was going to be out there doing in LA, and you was going to be doing the same thing in Miami. So that's usually the only way you going to be cool with letting your woman go off, and not only just like work, because it's different if you go and you work a couple days and then you come home. But if you going to live out there and I'm going to live here in Miami while you out there living it up in LA, something was bound to happen. It was almost like it was a setup.
Trust her what? As far as you can throw her? It said Miss Taylor was befriended by Miss F. Approximately May 2016, Miss Taylor asked Miss F to meet for a drink in Santa Monica. Okay, cool enough. I need to familiarize you with what's going on. You recently hired in. You a hairstylist. Let's get to it. She found Miss Taylor with an older man. What? An older man? Wait a minute. An older man. And Fox Sports Executive Vice President of Content, Mr. Dixon. As an Executive Vice President, Mr. Dixon is responsible for overseeing all content and productions on FS1. Miss F, however, she didn't know Mr. Dixon, so she just coming down with this guy, and we want to try to see who.
Now, this is the part that I still ain't quite sold on. I mean, if Mr. Dixon is a high-level executive and Joy invites you out to be her wingman, and she's sitting there with this old man, and you say you've never seen him before, but surely he's been on set. Surely, hell, if Joy had access to him, you had access to him, and if you doing everybody's hair, why wouldn't you see him walking around, or he wouldn't look familiar to you just for you to say? I mean, I could understand if this was your first week on the job, maybe. But we need a little bit more details with the timeline. Continue.
Mr. Dixon is, all right? Because we need visual references. It's no point in just having this conversation in a vacuum. We need to know who these people are, what these allegations are, so we can better understand what's going on. So let's say Charlie Dixon, Fox Sports VP. This is him. So let's start off by saying that, guys. Yeah.
Now this dude doesn't look like somebody who comes off as suave. Somebody who's got a whole lot of game. You know, he's probably just got a pocket full of money and a little bit of power up at Fox, and he's gonna flex it. That's what men with power do. Hell, that's what women with power, anybody with power, that's what they do. They flex it. And when you look like that, I guarantee you, your wife at home don't look nothing like Joy Taylor.
Money talks. Power, prestige, money. You don't even have to have straight teeth. You don't have to have straight teeth. The only thing that you gotta have,
Huge.
Oh, wow.
you don't have to have any of that. The only thing that you have to have is the ability to change somebody's life, and that is enough. You know what they call these type of guys? Provider men. The ladies on TikTok are now calling these type of guys provider men.
They should call them suckers. Most women do. Most women call them suckers.
Sucker, motherfucker.
She found Miss Taylor with an older man, Fox Sports Executive Vice President of Content, Mr. Dixon. As Executive Vice President, Mr. Dixon is responsible for overseeing all content and production on FS1. But Miss F didn't know Mr. Dixon. And when Mr. Dixon went to buy them another round of spicy margaritas, Miss F asked, "Who is this guy? Who is this big dog that's over here buying us another round of spicy margaritas?" And Miss Taylor, according to Miss F in the lawsuit, said that he was just, they say he's just a friend. And they say he's just a friend. Oh, baby, you. Following that night, whenever Miss F would meet Miss Taylor for drinks, Mr. Dixon would arrive with Miss Taylor or show up later in the night and then leave with Miss Taylor. He would always buy rounds of drinks. He said, "Ladies around me, they don't spend no money and or food." And from their body language, Miss F suspected that the pair was sleeping with each other. Although this concerned Miss F, as she knew Miss Taylor was recently married. Joy Taylor was married. We just gonna call her Joy Taylor, not Miss Taylor. Miss F kept her opinions to herself. I don't see nothing. In approximately June, same year from May to June, 2016, while at work, Miss F noticed Mr. Dixon in an elevator. Surprised by the coincidence, Miss F found Joy Taylor and told her excitedly, "This guy who always buys our drinks is in the elevator, girl. Girl, this guy just, executive vice president in the elevator. I don't know what to do." Miss Taylor quickly silenced Miss F, explaining who he was. Miss F became alarmed and warned Miss Taylor that such a relationship was unsafe. So Joy Taylor, according to this lawsuit, told Miss F that Mr. Dixon was her daddy, her sugar daddy, her boo thing. You know what? We make it do what it do. This is what it is. And Miss F said, "Hey, Joy, this relationship is unsafe. It's not safe. It's not right." And Miss Taylor said, "Girl, don't worry about it. Don't worry about it." And they continued to be friends with Miss Taylor, but tried to distance herself as she considered the situation dangerous and as well morally wrong as Miss Taylor and Mr. Dixon was both married.
The problem is she went on being friends with this woman, knowing that she's married and she's cheating on her husband, and she's dealing with another man who's married, who's cheating on his wife, and you still continued the friendship, knowing that, okay, all of a sudden it's bad morally. I don't know if I believe that. It's almost like she brung you along as a wingman, and you was hoping to catch you a big fish too. That's the only reason why you continued to hang out with him. I mean, again, this is my speculation, but women in situations like that who hang out with women that got men with money, usually they trying to catch them a sloppy second. Usually they trying to catch them somebody with a nice fat pocket. That's the only reason why you hang out with women who commit adultery. Because you want some too.
So this is going to hit a little bit different in the show, but we're going to get there. In approximately July, less than a month later, word spread amongst Fox's employees about a new show that was going to be a big deal. And it would star Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharp. It was known that Fox was looking for a woman with significant TV experience to also star. Therefore, it came as a surprise when Fox announced that Joy Taylor, who was just a bartender and a radio host in Miami with very minimal TV experience, would be the moderator of the new show, a sports debate program, Skip and Shannon Undisputed. It goes on to say, Mr. Bayless, Skip Bayless that is, who is also in his lawsuit, but we'll get to that shortly, disclosed that Miss F, later disclosed to Miss F that he didn't even want Joy Taylor on the show. At first, Mr. Dixon arranged a dinner between Mr. Bayless and Joy Taylor, where she arrived in provocative clothing, always using what you got to get what you want, just like Diamond said.
Just use what you got to get what you want and stop messing with this chump change.
And acted in a provocative manner. When that did not change Mr. Bayless's opinion, because Skip wasn't tripping off of Joy for whatever reason. Maybe he just knew that Charlie had already hit it 80 times. Mr. Dixon asked him to approve of her as a favor to him, and Mr. Bayless reluctantly agreed to do so as a favor to his.
How does she know all of this unless she was there as the wingman? Because it sounds like either Skip told her this or she was there at the dinner with them, and it sounds like a double date. It sounds like Joy was there with Mr. Dixon and old girl was there for Skip, if she was there, because it's not saying she was at the dinner, but how you know?
August. Miss F attended a dinner with Miss Taylor and her husband. So her husband just so happened to come up from Miami. Hey guys, I'm here. What are you guys doing today? We going to dinner? Cool. Unsuspecting simp. And Mr. Dixon and his wife. So y'all gonna work together, huh? During the dinner, Miss Taylor's husband became suspicious. His antennas went up. That Miss Taylor and Mr. Dixon were having a sexual relationship. Soon after dinner, Miss Taylor's husband found evidence of the inappropriate relationship and divorced her immediately.
He wasn't that big of a damn simp, because the moment he got there, he could tell. And you, as a man, we got that instinct too, that we know when our girl is smashing somebody else. We know. We may can't prove it, so we a little skeptic, and we may approach it a lot slower, because men, we typically don't go through phones. We ain't checking your email. We ain't playing detective like most of you women.
Miss Taylor again uses her sexuality to get on the show in approximately February 2020. So this is 4 years later. We don't know what happened in the gap between that. And I know that women can sleep with whoever they want to sleep with. I'm not trying to box shame you. But what I am saying is that you're using what you got to get what you want, and you're projecting like you just did it all just for the sake of it and you were a good person. Miss Taylor asked Miss F to meet her for lunch in Beverly Hills. So Miss F is out here hanging around in these streets, huh? She found Miss Taylor with a man, Emmanuel Ocho. All right, well, let's go ahead and get another visual reference while we at it. I want you guys, because there's a lot of people that may not be familiar with sports. This is Emmanuel Ocho, former Philadelphia Eagle, and he was also on Fox Sports on a new show called Speak that was coming out. All right, this is him here. Emmanuel Ocho, the complete opposite of Charlie Dixon, but I guess everybody can get it.
Emmanuel was probably the dude that she really wanted to be with. Nice looking black dude, pause. But he seems like he's more of her type, more of her speed. And I'm sure he didn't have to offer up anything. He didn't have to promise her no job. He probably just took her to Nobu for some sushi and hey.
A few months after meeting Mr. Ocho at the lunch, Miss F noticed him in a hallway while at work. Miss F later asked Miss Taylor, Joy that is, if Mr. Ocho also worked at Fox. And Miss Taylor confirmed and explained that she wanted Mr. Ocho to eventually recommend her on the show Speak for Yourself. So
another flag. How do you work there? How the hell you do not recognize anybody who worked there when you meet them, and then you say a few months later you saw them? Like, is you just doing specific people's hair? You got your own little hair trailer? I'm just trying to figure out, because usually when you in a job environment, you kind of know who worked there, who's who, at least the people who are in charge. So you know to straighten up and act right, look like you busy.
Goes on to say she wanted her to recommend her. Miss F became alarmed and warned Miss Taylor that she should probably not sleep with Mr. Dixon and Mr. Ocho at the same time, as Mr. Dixon is a very powerful man. This is Mr. Dixon, Mr. Ocho. All right. Very powerful man that may become very angry. Miss Taylor told her, girl, don't worry about that. And this is her play. Check it out, y'all. This is her play. She explained that she is also now powerful. And once Mr. Dixon was no longer useful to her, she would follow through on her plan to tell the company that he forced himself on her, and she would not allow herself to be forced out by Mr. Dixon like other women talent.
See, this is the problem right here. She already had her diabolical scheme already played up, mapped out, ready to go. And you telling people, that's your first mistake right there. You don't tell nobody what your plan is. And then you damn sure don't tell the bitter woman who ain't getting none herself, who can now come back and say that you did what you did and you told her that you did it. But it's all still speculation, because I hope this woman got proof, because the way she dragging people's name through the mud, she better have some kind of proof with it.
In approximately September of 2022, Miss Taylor started to work on Speak, and then she requested Miss F to do her hair. Let me read this sentence again. She explained that she was also now powerful, and once Mr. Dixon was no longer useful to her, she would follow through on her plan to tell the company that he forced herself on her. She would not allow herself to be forced out like by Mr. Dixon like other women talent.
Now Joy's problem is she done lost all her power. With this lawsuit, old buddy probably gonna be gone. She gonna be gone. Emmanuel gonna be gone. Skip was already gone. The fact that she can no longer use that leverage, it's over with, you know. And then the fact that your name is out there in this smear campaign, thinking, "Oh, Joy done slept her way up to the top." That's what everybody's going to think from this point on. she might as well go ahead and pivot and become a model or actress. Get her OnlyFans page cracking while she still got them looks. But it's out there now. Everybody's going to speculate that you just slept your way to the top, regardless if it's true.
This goes on to say he made inappropriate comments and said he could change her life if she acquiesced to having box. I don't even want to have box with somebody that don't want to have box, that don't want to give up the box. She said she would always make excuses regarding her son, politely change the subject, or make a joke, anything to keep Mr. Bayless appeased and her job safe. She developed issues with her left ovary and it was advised it could be cancer. With the fourth biopsy scheduled, she explained her situation to Mr. Bayless, hoping that he would take pity on her and cease his advances. Instead, Mr. Bayless told her that he wanted to be with her. She panicked and began rambling that there were cameras everywhere and that she has a child and that she does not want him. Again, this is all alleged. Mr. Bayless then grabbed her hands, began kissing her hands. Mwah, 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 mwah. Oh, baby. Oh, baby.
I am Pepe Le Pew, your lover.
And offered her $1.5 million to have box. You are reading that correctly in this 48-page lawsuit. He offered her 1.5 M's to give up the box.
Fellas, no box is worth $1.5 million. I'm going to say that again. No box is worth $1.5 million. And Skip, really? You offer $1.5 million? Like, you couldn't go on Instagram and catch one of these models who's just as fine and half as cheap? Come on, Skip. All right, let's move on down the road and see what old Stephen A. Smith had to say. Y'all check this out.
I have to get started with this subject because we all know that anytime you mention Skip Bayless, most folks want to hear what I have to say. And that's where we're going to get started because it's sports media news, which makes it apropos. And it involves a recent lawsuit filed against Fox Sports, and several people, including my buddy Skip Bayless, my former colleague at ESPN. The suit filed by a woman named Noushin Faraji, a former hairstylist for the company, cites several instances of workplace misconduct, okay? The 42-page suit names several defendants, including Fox Sports Executive Vice President Charlie Dixon and even host Joy Taylor. Faraji alleges Dixon grabbed her buttocks at a birthday party, and when she relayed the encounter to Taylor, the Fox host allegedly told her to, quote, get over it, end quote. As for Skip Bayless, Faraji says he touched her inappropriately and propositioned her for sex, offering her $1.5 million, end quote. I'll get to Tori and her thoughts on for a second. First things first, let me tell you why I had to cover this. Number one, it's news. Number two, I was just on the air a few weeks ago and took some heat for the fact that I pointed out that I've been friends with Jay-Z for 25 years. And I know nothing about what happened, no intimate details. Certainly can't be irresponsible and not try to interfere with a legal matter, a lawsuit. But in the same breath, I didn't think it was a crime to point out that the person that I've known for 25 years, I've never seen somebody that would be capable of that, with that meaning that person that I was around for 25 years. The same applies to Skip Bayless. Now, I don't know what happened. I don't work at Fox. I worked at Fox from 2001 to 2003. I haven't been there. I haven't been in that building in over 20 years. I don't know any details or anything like that. And I'm not here to castigate Ms. Faraji or anybody else. I I don't know Charlie Dixon that well, even though he used to work, at ESPN. I don't know Joy Taylor that well. Even though she and I have interacted with one another on several occasions throughout her career, and I find her to be a consummate professional, very good at what she does, very capable, very knowledgeable about the world of sports and what have you. I also know that she's big on women empowerment, so it's hard to imagine her saying get over it. But again, I don't know. But we all know that when you see Stephen A. Smith with a subject like this and the name involves Skip Bayless, that's what you want to know about. And here's what I would tell you. I don't know what happened. But just like I said, I've known Jay-Z for 25 years. I can't imagine that. I've known Skip for just as long. I can't imagine it. I can't imagine it. Especially when they brought up the $1.5 million. The Skip Bayless I know has a hard time giving away $15.
See, this is exactly why P. Diddy can't get bail. Because Stephen A. is speaking up on behalf of Skip Bayless. Stephen A. is saying, hey, I've known this man for 25 years. He ain't never did anything like this. I've never seen anything like this. I know him and his character to be of upstanding morals and blah, 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 blah. Now, why P. Diddy can't get bail is because he ain't got nobody doing that for him. Jay-Z didn't come out and be like, oh, I've been rapping with Puffy for 25 years and I've never seen none of these freak offs. Oh, nobody has come up and spoke like Stephen A. has spoken up for his boy. Not none of the people that he's made millionaires, not even, but all the damn people that's been screwed out of millions from P. Diddy have come out and said nothing but negative things about him. So now we are under the impression that P. Diddy's a bad guy and whatever they say he did, he must have did it. Because if you ain't got nobody but your family, or not even all your family, really just your kids coming out and saying good things about you, it goes a long way in the court of public opinion when you can have somebody speak up on your behalf. But when you don't have nobody saying nothing, it ain't a good look. Ain't a good look at all. And in Skip's case, but you just heard Shannon say the man is cheap. Why the hell would he offer somebody $1.5 million? Not saying that it didn't happen. Maybe the woman took it out of context. Maybe he meant it as a joke. We don't know because we weren't there. And I have a hard time thinking that this woman is going to be able to prove it unless she's got a text message, got him on tape, or got a video of any of these mishaps taking place. But I think her goal was accomplished by throwing mud on everybody that she used to work with that didn't help her out after everybody else's career took off and moved on. She probably ain't cutting nobody's hair of any kind of stature. She figured now'd be a good time to come with my lawsuit because that's just what people are doing. She figured she can holler me too. Moving on to probably the funniest reaction that I've seen in these past 48 hours, Mr. Jason Whitlock, a.k.a. Uncle Ruckus.
Uncle Ruckus, no relation.
And I don't say this to be hypercritical of Joy Taylor. I don't have harsh opinions of Joy Taylor. She's not someone that I didn't get along with. I basically, for the most part, just kept my distance from Joy Taylor. And I kept my distance not because I didn't like her. It's just because I knew myself. I know myself. I know what I'm capable of. And that big rack of hers that she showed off constantly, it's just, and that peanut butter skin with that big rack.
Hold up. One love to my butter pecan freakins for calling me Poppy.
That peanut butter skin with that big rack. You know what you was capable of. You knew you was capable of jumping on that big peanut butter rack. Yeah. I know what you capable of.
Like, Jay, keep your distance. That's going to get you into trouble. And so that's what I did. I kept my distance. Because when you put some woman in a job, talking sports with a bunch of men, it's a job she's not qualified for. She's talking sports with professional athletes, people that did it at the highest level. She's talking sports with me or Colin Cowherd or other people that have like really studied sports at a super high level.
Now, don't get me wrong. I understand you're studying sports at a super high level when you are actually playing. But if your ass didn't play like Colin and Skip and shit, I don't even remember you. How the hell is you studying at a high level? I mean, you watching the game, giving your opinion just like everybody else. And if you've ever watched ESPN, y'all say the same shit all day long. Once you start with SportsCenter, then work your way down to First Take, then work your way down to Partner Interruption, then around the horn. By the end of the day, 5 different analysts done said the same shit. So explain to me what high level you studying sports at. Like, I mean, you seeing the play just like I'm seeing the play. And if you have any knowledge of the game, you can commentate on it. And last time I checked, women do play sports. They may not play football, or not the football that we are used to or accustomed to seeing, but hell, any idiot can watch the game, and if you know how to follow it, you can comment on it. She has a broadcast journalism degree. How much more qualified do you want her to be?
What does she have to offer other than her sex appeal? And so should we be surprised that she leaned into that?
Hell no, because she knew it gives her an advantage. That's the whole point of pretty privilege.
Use what God gave you.
But somehow she's qualified to be the host of Undisputed, a debate show between Skip Bayless, who, like him or not, was an accomplished sports journalist for a time, and a Hall of Fame football player in Shannon Sharpe. Shannon Sharpe reached the top of the sports industry. Skip Bayless reached the top of the sports media industry. And Joy Taylor had done some radio work down in Miami. What does she have to offer? So how does she get that job? How does she even get that opportunity? Because she's got a big pair of cans, and she's, according to Noushin, she's willing to let people enjoy those big cans of hers.
Hold up. One love to my brother Puerto Ricans for calling me Poppy.
That's how we got here. And it's not Joy Taylor's fault. And I want to go through and just, I'm trying not to disparage Joy Taylor, but the facts are the facts. I can remember I'm at Fox Sports at the time, and I ran into some friction because I didn't want a woman on a show that I was doing at Fox Sports. And so this is in 2015-16 at the very beginning. And I can remember they brought Joy Taylor in for a test on the show that I was doing. Yeah, this is at the time when I was going to be initially doing my own show, and Cowherd was doing something else. And just keeping it all the way real, Charlie Dixon wanted her to be involved with my show. And so we brought her in for a test. And I didn't think the test went well. And I let everybody know, hey, I don't think this test went well. I don't want, this isn't the direction I wanted to go. I was trying to play nice and trying to meet them halfway in terms of okay, you guys are insisting on a woman being on this show because that's what everybody wants. And I was like, well, you need to bring a grown-ass woman on the show if it's going to be with me. It can't be at this time. This is 10 years ago. What, Joy Taylor's probably 25, 26 years old. You talking about, I mean, I got a lot of discipline, but 25-year-old with them big cans and that peanut butter skin.
I don't need this shit. I don't need some girl with her big ass village beaters asking me if I need some help.
And who has nothing to say.
Them big cans and that peanut butter skin, boy. He keep throwing that out there. Like, you keep saying you got discipline, but you seem like that perverted ass old man who just waiting on her to drop something so she can bend over and pick it up.
Say at some point I'm going to lose respect, and I'll be like, well, the only thing she's got to offer is them big cans and that peanut butter skin.
You like it so far?
Everybody's been real nice.
Well, that's because you have big jugs. I mean, your boobs are huge. I mean, I want to squeeze them.
And so if I got to put up with this, I might as well enjoy them big cans. I'm not trying to disparage anybody. I'm just keeping it real. This show is called Fearless. I got to tell you the truth. So
the show's called Fearless. It should be called I Don't Give a Fuck. I like big cans and peanut butter skin. Uncle Ruckus went on to continuously mention them big cans and that peanut butter skin. And again, it just seems like he only saw a pretty face, just like many other sports commentators only saw a pretty face. I mean, if you look at it, hell, 20 plus years ago, there were no women commentators. At best, you was going to get a woman on the sideline doing sideline interviews or after the game interviews. But other than that, it was all men commentating on ESPN and other sports channels. Not to say that women aren't appreciated, but as men, we know what they are there for. They're there to brighten up the place, to give us something to look at while we are hearing the same damn thing all day long on SportsCenter, on ESPN, on Fox Sports, on First Take, on whatever damn show. They typically add a woman in now. So we'll have something to look at as we listen to the same thing over and over again. So we get it. We know. And Joy knows. She knows she's there because she's a pretty face. Hell, the woman who was cutting the hair was probably there because she was a pretty face. Pretty privilege does exist. We know it exists. And unfortunately, it's not pointed out that it don't exist just for women, because there's some men out there who ain't capable of doing their damn jobs. There's some actors out there who can't act for shit. But the fact that they got a nice, pretty face, got that golden triangle that everybody on TV looks for, they put them on there because they're attractive. And to be on TV, unfortunately, they want you to be attractive. Now, to whose standards they're holding what attractive is, well, that's left up to the TV and what they choose to program and brainwash y'all into thinking is pretty, which is why a lot of y'all around this whole colorism thing thinking that, oh, this person is only there because they dark skinned. Oh, this person is only there because they light skinned. Damn it. It's the way the world works. Don't get mad about it. Don't come back years later and sue about it because you weren't cute enough to either get the job or get the man from the job that you thought you wanted that somebody else got. I personally think that this woman who's filing this lawsuit was thought that if she hung out with Joy Taylor long enough, she could catch her one. And the fact that she didn't, and Joy went on and got her career going. Skip went on and already had his millions. The executive done moved on. Well, damn it, I ain't got nothing and I'm still cutting hair at Supercuts. Let me go over here and tell them all the stories I know about that happened at Fox Sports while I was there. First of all, if you look at the damn lawsuit, the only thing Joy did was tell this woman to forget about it when advances were made towards her. Other than that, all the other bullshit in the lawsuit is irrelevant. We didn't need to know Joy was sleeping with Emmanuel. We didn't need to know Dixon and Joy were sleeping together. You threw that in there just to put them under the bus and take some of the attention off of your ass. Because that's all people have been talking about is the fact that Joy and the executive slept together, and you could come up with the narrative that Joy slept her way up to the top. Now, the problem with that is it's speculation, and your ass can't prove it. And the fact that you threw it out there, well, you just wanted to throw some dirt on this woman's name because you didn't get what you wanted. It made no sense to put that in the lawsuit because it's irrelevant. It didn't happen to you. Only thing happened to you is somebody grabbed your ass. Somebody supposedly offered you $1.5 million to sleep with them. And you just thought, hey, that ain't enough. I want more. Let me go and get me a lawsuit going and throw a couple people under the bus while I'm at it. It's got broken and bitter written all over it. The fact that people are sleeping with each other at work, well, that's the broken part. The fact that you now suing and snitching on every damn body, well, that's the bitter part. And damn it, you messing it up for the women who are actually being abused at work. Because you're making it hard for people to believe them when they telling the truth, when we know damn well you sitting up here lying. Come on, y'all. If we want better, we got to do better. Man, that last video I put out got me a few thousand views, and I know this one go get me even more. So if y'all want to check it out, it's right here. Subscribe to the channel right here. And then hit that like button, share button, and y'all had no problem getting in the comments saying whatever the hell y'all want. I want all the smoke. Y'all bring it. Jump down in them comments and tell me what you really think. Till next time.
King of Dawn. What the fuck you said at the end of this?
Fuck 'em.